Hello all, and welcome to the first part of Sunday Q&A, which is now ever more spuriously now on a Saturday, so the second part can go out on a Sunday, whereas normally it goes out on a Sunday, the second part goes out on a Monday, because now is Good Friday, and Friday feels like Saturday. That sounded like something out of Two Ronnies. Hi guys. I'm sorry I'm a bit early this week because I'm trying to get a jump on the weekend. I might actually get a day off this time. So, right, straight into it then. I had a comment last week from Jay Bolden. And he says, how do I open the widget that you use while the map is open? Which is to do with, now, I've done this thing on Circuit. And it's a bit of a dilemma for me, this, guys, to be honest with you, because, like I say, it's nice for the channel. I get money out the channel from the adverts. And now I've kind of got a sponsor. And it's this firm called Circuit. I've done a few videos on it. And the problem is, I kind of feel a bit about selling people stuff. Because when I was a kid, I was, that big, the hard sell, you want this, that kind of stuff. And then my father-in-law put me straight. He said, no, that's not how selling works. What you do, find a product that's good. Then you can tell people it's good. And then they'll come back to you and go, that's great, thanks for letting me know. And I genuinely believe that Circuit is good. I think it's the best one out there for free. And you can do up to 10 stops for free. It's also probably the best one paid out there if you're a multi-drop driver. Unfortunately, Jay, I can't answer your question because now I've got this brand new phone, which we're going to come into in the second half of this video. I've logged myself out. I'm now waiting for the man from Circuit to get me back my login details. Once I log myself in, I'll come back to that. But I did do a meeting with them on Friday. They were pleased with the video. They're pleased with the way it's going. They want me to do some more videos for their channel. They're going to have their own YouTube channel, and I'll probably stick a few more out on my channel. So with that in mind, here's a heads up. They pay me. This is like a promotional thing. They pay me. Having said that, I've made the decision, and my mate David Chris said, he said there's a guy out there who, he's like loads of millions of subscribers and stuff like that, and he basically reviews guitars. And guitar firms will say to him, send me your guitar. What do you think? So you send me the guitar, I'll play it, and I'll review it. If I think your guitar's rubbish, I'll do a review saying the guitar's rubbish. I'm going to be honest with you. I always have. I plug the CX, although I am not sponsored by the CX. I get no payment and sponsorship by the CX. Because I plug it because I think it's good. Because I've got where I am through it, and that's how the channel's grown. I plug Circuit because I think it's good. I plug Business Choice Direct because they're the firm that we use for insurance. I kind of figure that if I just plug the things that I use and that are good, then and if anyone turns around and says it doesn't work out for me, I can say sorry, but I don't want to sell anything. Anyway, so the long and short of it is this. Jay, I'll get back to you. There's going to be a few more Circuit adverts. If you're out there and you're doing a multi-drop, please check it out. There is a video on Circuit. Honestly, I think it's the most user-friendly, best interface, and it's also, if you're doing up to 10 stops, it's free. And free is my favourite number. Anyway, that said, on to the main topic. So I did a video last week, and the precursor to it was the fact that a guy had left a comment saying that when you started, it was easy for you. And the guy's a nice guy. He comments all the time, but I kind of had to have him up on it because it wasn't easy for me when I started. I had no money. I didn't know what I was doing. I went to work for a guy who 2 weeks later turned around and said, you can't work for me anymore. And my wife thought I'd actually dragged the whole family down, and I was living in a room of a pub. So it wasn't easy for me when I started. And of course, there was no videos, which kind of is another reason why I was quite keen to kick on with this channel. So I'm just going to do your comments on the response to that. So Matthew McDonald, it's quite a long one, but bear with me. He said, I think it's to do with the fact selling the dream. He said, that's the second time I've heard this week, Pete. He said, I rang a local shipper near me, introduced myself, etc., and boom. It's a 45-minute conversation about how bad the CX had become, how YouTube videos have killed his business. I listened to everything he said. He told me to run a van on the CX as I've ripped the life out of the industry and it will never recover. He said, obviously not just you. He told me that his van costs 12p a mile, and which is wear and tear, which you never factor into play. I never factor anything into play. I kind of, when people say, well, how much does the van cost a mile? I say, well, in a Luton van, I used to say 25p for the diesel, 10p for the wear and tear, 35p. Because all of this is, and always has been, just my personal take on things. And I've never said I'm the expert. I just tell it like I find it. You do you. He said, you have always said a small van, 60 to 65p a mile is about right. because that's what I believe they sell for. And that's when we post jobs what they come in at. And I think that was what it was before I started, and that's what it is now. You'd like to think that with inflation and time moving on, you could get a bit more money, but it doesn't seem to be the case. He said, you've always said it's not a magic wand. It's not. You've always said it's not for everyone. It's not. It depends on the area, if you're prepared to tramp. My point is that you've always given me sound advice and you help people out with your videos, and this is fact. Thank you very much for saying so. Is it fact? It's not fact. It's just my opinion. It really is. He said the old timers and the people in the game don't like you, Pete, because you've opened the industry to new people who are prepared to work the prices and because they can make a tidy living. I don't know. I never meant for any of this. I just do it. It's a swings and roundabouts. The only criticism, Pete, is that when I watch your videos, you're of a positive nature, and what you present, we know is not the case. Other vloggers out there seem 100% real, and you see the struggles on a daily basis that people can relate to, and you don't get to that even though you have bad days. Maybe this is just because you're a bit proud. Who knows? But I think that something maybe look at people who are able to relate to, and I have said I'm not the poster boy for the CX, but I do seem to be the poster boy for the CX. I'm there, and love and peace, my friend. Too many haters, and they're all right. The guy who left the comment, again, not a hater. He just left a comment saying this is what's happened, and as a consequence. And he said at the end, good luck. Yes, a lot of my videos do come across positive. Maybe I'm kind of lucky, but there are other people out there. It's like, when you do the Amazon, read all the reviews. There are other people out there. There's Van on the Road. There's Big Beardy. There's plenty of people. Don't just take it from me. Just go and check everybody else out. I'm not telling you to take it from me. You do you at the end of the day. Someone's phoning on otherwise. Hang on a second. Yeah, I don't know who that was. But I'll continue to do the videos to the best of my ability, as honestly as I can. You can choose, take away what I always say, be critical, be skeptical. Turn everything. If you get a gift horse, go straight up to it, rip its mouth open, pull the teeth apart, and have a good look down the throat. Don't take everything at face value. I just do the videos. You do you at the end of the day. You glean what you can. You believe it. Believe me, don't believe me. It's down to you. Right. Lee Aspinall says, hi Pete, I've been running for over 2 years now. I have 3 end user customers and I now use the CX to get me back, which it has been doing. And I can only say that if I'd have started on the CX, I wouldn't be in a good position now. You have to give it a go. Good luck. Sorry, I was a bit blurred on that one, I've never make a newsreader. I can't read this stuff out. But running over 2 years, three end user customers. I'd like to hope you're starting, but you've got a base for a solid business there. Lee, good luck with all of that, mate. It looks like you're heading in the right direction. Michael Ellis, he says, morning. He says, I don't think you're selling the dream. You're telling us your opinion and giving honest advice. Not always the best, but honest. I enjoy your videos and the value of your honesty. I joined the exchange after watching your videos, but not because I watched your videos. I can understand people complaining about the price of jobs. It is too cheap. If it's too cheap, don't do it. That's good advice. You bid what you're prepared to pay. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's a backload platform. I did one recently, which will come up probably tomorrow, on the 3 advantages of the CX over end user customers. But ultimately, you want end user customers. Because what you're doing on the CX is you're selling wholesale. What you really want to be doing is selling retail. If you can get your end user customers, you get your money, plus you get the shipper's money. You're talking, rather than paying, £1 a mile, £152 a mile, double money for the same job. End user customers are like hen's teeth. They're difficult to get hold of, but you really want the end user customer that's going to take you to here, there, and everywhere, where you can't have an end user customer because you don't know where you're going to go, and that's where the CX comes in, and that's the size of it. But it's for a backload platform, it's fantastic. It's by far the best one out there. For actually, for living, really, you want to try and get your own end users, but that's hard work. Domain name guy says, more drivers will be going on the CX from April because one of the biggest driving agencies in the UK has decided to no longer use limited drivers as of April. I'm not sure about this, but I was on a pickup on Friday and there was a truck driver and he said the rules are changing on sort of limited companies and self-employed companies. And something that made me wonder is the fact that I know Uber's changed. and they've turned around and gone, well, no, actually, your drivers are actually employees and stuff like that. And there's a lot of similarities between the CX and Uber, but that's probably something and nothing that might come, who knows. He says, if you want to remain a limited company drivers, you will simply buy a van and go to sites like the CX, and more drivers that are doing parcel routes are employed by big parcel companies will be moving to being employed by parcel companies themselves direct and just using it back in the day before owner drivers and franchise routes. I don't understand any of this, to be honest with you. Like, sort of if the rules are changing, the rules are changing. I tend to, unfortunately, wing things. I shall cross that bridge when I come to it, like I did with the LEZ. Do I need a new truck? Do I need a Euro truck? And what I have found is that for the amount of times I actually go inside the 25, I'm actually personally better off paying the zone charge, because the money it's costing me on a monthly basis would be less than the money that would cost me to upgrade to a Euro 6 with DVS. And also the jobs going into the zone don't pay that much more, and there's no fun in London. I mean, there's certainly no fun inside the ULEZ. There's not a lot of fun inside the 25 either, to be honest with you. TG Weege says, let's get this right, Pete. Pete's videos may have increased the number of drivers, but equally there are more jobs added to the exchange. I don't know if that's true or not. Jobs are cheap because of the pandemic, lockdowns and Brexit. Well, yeah, I'd go with that. This is business. The CX should pay the man if his videos are powerful, because they're the ones making lots of money out of this. Well done, Pete. Keep up the good work. They probably should. They don't, and I'm past caring. I'm doing okay with the trucks. I'm doing okay with it. And now, because I've got the Circuit Mob on board, that's kind of helping as well, or might help in the future. It is what it is. I've done a video on this before. I said before in the video, why would they pay me? They don't need to pay me. I'm going to make the videos regardless. I've got the channel. I've got the adverts. I've got other things. They don't need to pay me. I'm kind of free to them. It's something else he said here that I want to pick up on as well. Yes, he said about jobs. How many jobs were out there on, it's Good Friday today, so you'll see this on Saturday, Thursday, Friday. I think, and I should do a video on this, but unfortunately I'm about a year too late. The busiest day of the year, in my opinion, is the day before Good Friday. It just went absolutely mental. At one stage, there were 200 truck jobs on there. That's jobs over 7.5 tonne. And my friend Daniel, he said he was quoting in a Luton van, 150 all day long. He said, I'm quoting the second that the phone rang instantly. Because I reckon the day before Good Friday is possibly the busiest day of the year, because everybody wants to shift it. I mean, normally before a bank holiday weekend, it gets busy anyway, but before this particular one, it was crazy busy. So, thoughts. Ian with Two Eyes Merrick, hello mate, how you doing? He said there's a very serious side to the cut price rates that everyone complains about on the CX. The NW Motorway Police have embraced social media and regularly post life-threatening rust bucket vans that they've had to pull over and prohibit because they're being overweight, without insurance, unsafe, or an unlicensed driver. Cut price rates that don't even pay minimum wage put the public at risk. People that support cut price rates are putting the public at risk, and bigger delivery firms are getting away without having the duty of care for their driver partners' actions and not delivering effective vetting and supervision. Someone is going to get killed. There is a thing to this now. As a shipper, I do believe you've got a responsibility. And it is not to unnecessarily always take the cheapest price. Check their feedback. Because from a personal point of view, if the job goes wrong, one of our end user customers, you don't want to lose your end user customers. I would always rather pay over the odds, but get someone that I know is capable, has decent feedback, is tidy, or if they're new, if you speak to them and you're prepared to give them a chance, that's absolutely fine. But I think a very good point to be made there. C11 Yan. Hello, mate. I talk to friends all the time. I know you do. A friend does a lot of work for you, and thank you very much for your contributions. He says, I've been running 18 months to 2 years longer than you guys, Pete. New members that join the CX, i.e. those most likely targeted through these videos, are not pricing work lower than the existing members. If anything, they come into the CX with high earning expectations and will leave if they can't be achieved. It's a volume of work issue as much as an excess of drivers, but I might be wrong. I've noticed that. I mean, you see them on the forums as well going, and you get them cases, well, I'm going to buy a van. Can I make as much as this? And you go, no. And it's not like I'm lying. I'm telling you. I'm telling you the prices that we find that jobs sell for, and also that they also they're in line with what Ben at HBC, who I did the video with, and he's a professional shipper, and they're a big firm. They've been in it for a while, and he kind of goes, "Yeah, that's about right." So it's not like I'm the only person saying this. And there's one mob saying, "You're selling JobSell for this much money. You're undercutting everybody." And I went, "No, I'm not. I'm just finding that if I put a pound in, I get the job. If I put in 50p, I get the job instantly, and I could have got more money for it. If I put in 150, the phone doesn't ring." All I'm doing is telling you what happens as far as I can see it. But I do find a lot of people ring up and they say, "Well, I'm going to charge £2 a mile." I said, "Charge what you like. Charge them £100 a mile if you want. You're going to sit at home all day, but charge them what you like. End of the day, you do you." Martin Bonev says, "Nice video piece. Ignore the haters. You're doing a good job. Peace." Thank you. And like I say, not here. RBD, aka the Droid, Pete, I appreciate your efforts in the videos you produce. A true individual perspective of your experiences. You've certainly assisted me personally. Keep up the good work. Beep, beep. Harry Jackson says, "I made a post on the exchange, Edmonton to Chestnut." Don't know where Chestnut is. World's Worst Courier Driver, don't know where anything is. This is a 15-minute journey, picking up a fruit machine and delivering it. My first quote was £179. 2 minutes later, I got a quote for 52. Prices are not comparable. You've got to bear in mind that sometimes you might get right place, right time. Like I say, again, Daniel said, I was talking to the transport manager, he said one guy quoted a job 4 miles across London. This was the Thursday before Good Friday. He quoted 120 quid for 4 miles. Got it instantly. Having said that, 4 miles in London can take you 2 hours. So beware. CR says, "Well done, Pete. You've always put me right. Ain't getting into a truck though, Clive." Clive, is that you that I met at the CX meeting back in the day? You say you're not getting into a truck. You say that now. I didn't think I was getting into a truck. Longfinger. It says, "Many people think that you've got an alternative agenda." Yes, as I've said before, my business partner, when we got together, he said, "I watched your videos, and to be honest with you, I didn't believe you weren't working for the CX. End of the day, I've said, be sceptical. You believe what you want. I'm not trying to convince anybody otherwise. I'm telling it as I find it. Believe me, don't believe me, I don't mind." And in fact, Fazaf Hanif says he's lying. Don't join up to CX. Alternative point of view there. And finally, Leanne says, "Pep, you don't have to justify yourself. Oh, and you're going to need a bigger boat." Actually, we're going to need a bigger boat. And anybody for today's? The white dragon noodle bar. There you go. It's the Last Exits t-shirt. My favourite spurious film t-shirts. The first person who gets it gets to call himself Dr. Film for the rest of the weekend. Right, I'm going to do one on Samsung, and then I am going to stop it, and we'll do the other one that goes out tomorrow, which is Sunday's Q&A, which should be Saturday. Got a new phone. I wasn't going to get a new phone because I was happy with the old phone, and I was trying to get my bills down, and then it started to mess about. And I don't know if you guys, but I use the phone. It's my sat nav, it's my DAB radio, it's and most importantly, it's the CX. I need it for jobs, booking jobs, quoting on jobs. And when it started to go wrong, I kind of went, look, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do it. So, but having said that, it has got this fantastic feature which I called Director's Cut. It's actually called Director's View, and it means I can muck around with the cameras, which I couldn't do on any of the previous phones. With that in mind, bit too much Pete over the bank holiday weekend. I'm going to try and get one out on Monday, which is, I said I gathered the questions a long time ago, questions that you would like to ask the CX, and they said they might be up for it. And then in the end, they said, "Pete, we don't want to do it." I said, "Absolutely fine, no problem. It was never set in stone." But what I've done is I've got a stand-in. So I was going to use Ben. I thought I might have Ben asked a professional, but it means I've got to drive all the way over to Baldock and then do the interview and then drive all the way over back again. So I've got a particular stand-in who's, So it's going to be a bit silly, I think. But it's out on Monday if you want to watch it. If I get round to doing it, if not, I'll do it another day. Anyway, but the new phone, I'm very happy with it. It pretty much does what the old phone does, but it does it, and that's the thing that I'm very pleased about. Charles Wunish says, "Look out, Steven Spielberg. I expect your videos to become more arty. Where's your cravat?" Just read that. I meant to get I thought I meant to do that. Sorry, mate. Anything around here? Nope. No. Just stick with the t-shirts. Domain name guy says, he says, brilliant video. That phone is for waffle. It's a Wafflers phone. Well, in that case, it's come to the right. It has all the makings. My lucky day, hasn't it? Really, a Wafflers phone. He said, I make videos when I think of an idea for a video, and then I waffle, etc. No video, no editing, just like me, bangs it all out. He said, but I have been wanting to work out how to do this feature, and have yet to do this. This video has solved the problem. Game changer for Waffler vlogs. But domain name guy, and also Ian Merrick, we'll come to, actually we'll do that in a minute. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of pleased with it, and if I can get to, I'm going to try and do, like I say, for Monday, it's going to be a little bit different to just me sitting in front of the camera. We'll see how it goes. I'll take the feedback. London Creative, who's my mate Nick, who's got his own channel. He does videos and stuff on phones and lighting and all that kind of stuff. London Creative on YouTube, please check him out. He says, another thing that phone that is still better than the iPhone, that simple feature of being able to flip from the back camera that's not available on the iPhone drives me crazy. That is dead handy. The amount of times I've done videos before, like how to operate a tail lift, and I want to talk and then show you the tail lift and then talk, and all you've got to do is press this thing at the top now. In fact, it's up there right now. I can see. I didn't even know it was there. Watch this. That's telling me that I've got the shutter closed. But I can flick between. Oh, not very good at this. I can flick between the two cameras, so we'll have a proper go at it on Monday, or for Monday. But that being able to flick between two cameras is going to make it much better for me. If I've got to try and show you something like how to do up a strap, or how strap winder works, or putting pressure on a back truck tyre or something like that, being able to talk and then flick that over is, whether it's worth the money, I don't know, but I'm trying to justify it to myself. So you can flip between the camera and the back camera. He says, I have to film separate pieces, then edit them in. It's well done, and you've done well. I look forward to seeing it using demonstration videos. Watch for Monday, Nick. There you go. So, and Ian Merrick turns around, he says, thanks for the tip. I'm about to do a 5 to 10 minute video on my career for schools as a role of a STEMnet ambassador. Not sure what that is. I've bought an extendable iPhone selfie stick, extendable tripod with a remote Bluetooth trigger. I've got a don't panic button, inflatable hammer, and a glove puppet called Sid the Squirrel. I am thoroughly looking forward to seeing that video. So domain name Guy and Ian with 2 eyes Merrick, if you have got videos out and you stick them on YouTube, because I can do link to other people's videos, please do. And I'll do a little link, and you can watch Domain Name Guy waffle, and Ian 2 eyes Merrick presumably do his Timmy Mallet trick. And finally, Hong Kong Fooey says tax write-off. Actually, I never thought of that, because we do run the bills through the business. It's weirdly, well, my phone bill goes through, but the main bill doesn't. So yeah, I will actually get some kind of tax rebate on that, so made me feel slightly better. So yeah, just coming back to I did think, I said about the idea of finding a place, and I said about it's called What 3 Words, and it sort of pinpoints you to an exact location. I think we should link that with the YouTube, because I think with the CX rather, because I do think that would help us find places. I want to get onto that one. Something else I've got to do. Domain name guy says, what 3 words is good, as allegedly it does have a downside, as it can be too accurate. I can see that, but I can't quite. I can and can't. I'm gonna have to look into that. And finally, in conclusion, C11 Yang, because I said he said, what 3 words is amazing mapping software? These 3 words is a song by Stevie Wonder, because I called it These 3 Words. Like I said, only going to prove that everything I say on this channel is wrong, or at least largely inaccurate. So with that in mind, you do you. Be skeptical. Be critical. Decide what you want to do. And also, I think that might come up tomorrow about the idea of joining the CX. So that's it for today. Coming out a day early. I'll do tomorrow's for normal time, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, if I get enough time, I'll be able to do that video for Monday with all the questions that you wanted to ask CX. What I plan to do is to put the video out, and then hopefully get the more experienced people out there than me to answer them. Because there will be people watching that go, well, I think you'll find the reason is. At the end of the day, it's just us having a chat. I hope you're enjoying a bank holiday, guys. I hope you're having a rest. And I hope you're not, well, I hope you're taking care, but not taking money.